Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review in Summoner's War. Today we are on Ryan's account. He gave me a specific task. He wanted this review. He gave me a budget. He said, I want to get your account improvement. I have a budget of $200. After the review, let me know what I think that he could improve on. I'm going to be straightforward. There are going to be things that I'll say, you don't need my help. Well, technically, everything here, you guys don't need my help. You guys could figure it out. You guys could play the game more. You guys could research it yourself. There's a lot of online guides on how to get better in the game in specific content. But I know everybody values time differently, and some people just don't have the leisure to play the game 24/7, which denies the progress that they really want to get. So Ryan, I'm going to give you an honest review, see where your account is at, and we'll also identify what I can help you with in this account. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. I want to say I appreciate all the support, and believe me, I really do. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. Currently standing in C1 is an F3 player. He's only been playing for 454 days, so this is a fairly new account. He did get Toa Normal and Hard done, which is great, but this is something I always expect for accounts that are over 200 days. I think the number one priority you should get done is Toa Normal and Hard, alongside with a dungeon or two, say like GB12 at least, because this is where you get the most resources, the most free resources in the game. He's in a G1, C3 G1 guild, it looks like, so that's fine. With his rune quality, with his level, I think this is where you should be starting at. He has all the dungeons done, so there's nothing I should be helping you here. He didn't tell me that he's failing any dungeon runs or he has problems with any dungeons, so assisting dungeons is out of the question. Also, BGR5, it looks like he has that done, so that's something also that I will not need to help you with. And it looks like you're getting triple S in all the wind beasts and all the beasts, all the raids. You are only running Forest of Roaring Beasts level 5, which is where you get the Rage and Blade set. Realistically, I think you should be running either the Cliff of Tough Beastmen or the Sanctuary of the Dreaming Fairies, because this is where you get the will runes, and I think that is probably the most efficient, best rune that you could be getting from these dimensional dungeons. If you're early game, I do understand you running this because you are lacking damage sets, and this is where you'll probably get your best damage set if you run it long enough. They are Ancient Rage and Ancient Blade set, so I won't say this is wrong. But in the end, you do want to transition to either this or this. And probably this one is the most efficient because it gets you the Despair runes, which is another rune that is widely used in PvP. However, you could argue that Destroy runes or Vampire runes that are obtained from the Cliff of Tough Beastmen is also widely used. Not as much in RTA, but a lot in the other PvP aspects. So just from this, I think that the only place I could really help you with right now is you getting a new record. So arena defense, arena offense, and rushing for you if you would like. But that's not required because you could do the rush yourself. And if you know which defenses to hit during your rush with the offenses that I make you, you might get your own record by yourself. That's the only thing that I can help you with. The other thing I can help you with is probably like making siege defenses or a couple of siege offenses. Well, not a couple, because it will depend on which defenses you meet. You have to be kind of fluid on your offense creations, offense making, but siege defense is definitely something I could help you with, especially if it's in a C3 G1 siege. But let's look at his box. Maybe he does not have the units for a lot of, siege defenses to create, or arena defense, arena offense to create. But I did see that he had a Leo, so he could make a second turn team, and he has a Delphoid. He has one Galleon, which I don't like. I do think everybody should have at least 2 Galleons, especially if you have a Leo, and then a Tiana, because you're going to go with a fast team and then a slow team. And in both cases, Galleon is probably right now the best attack buffer plus AoE defense breaker. In the state of Summoners War right now, new units are doing too much. I think a couple years back, Nav4s had a use because they had a specific role. such as the Galleon, right? Galleon was the sole god in Arena that put in AoE defense break and attack buff. And yeah, even right now, he is probably one of the best that does that. But if you look at the new Nat 5s that come out, especially if you take a look at the LD section, like the Weapon Master, yes, some are mediocre, but if you look at the Wind Weapon Master, Dominique, who got nerfed, but is still super OP, now puts in damage that does not get effective by elemental disadvantage. So he could just wipe out Douglas's because of his passive. And also the Dark Weapon Master. It's a Weapon Master that puts in defense break, you know, a whole bunch of debuffs, you know, attack bar absorption. It just does so much where he replaces like 2 units by himself. Due to the fact that I started hearing this and noticing it, I understand why people think that the game is dying. Or they think that the game is going to come to an end. Because this is the same steps that every other game took. Especially if you look at Korean games. So if you look at Seven Knights, it was a game that I played a lot. Yes, it wasn't very popular in global or America, but I did play it in the Korean server, and I played it extensively during my college years before Summoner's War. And I think it started dying right after it came out with a unit called Ballista. I think it was a unit that was able to ignore defense, you know, and do like massive amounts of damage. And it was a Nat 4, let's say we consider it a Nat 4. After that, the game had to come out with other units that could counter it or be even stronger than that Ballista unit. Because it continued with the cycle, it became a game where you had to get the newest unit, which is probably the strongest. At least Summoner's War is not like that entirely, because there are still mediocre units that come out, but there is, at least until what we saw right now, there is one unit that is really strong, right? And in most cases, it's the LD units. The game dies when they start bringing out units that have to be better than the previous OP unit, and then it becomes a cycle where the players have to get that unit to be in the meta, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, Seven Knights is dead. They have Seven Knights 2, which is not doing that well in global anyways. And also that happened to Epic 7, right? I don't know the exact details of Epic 7, but I heard that at a certain point, the game developers started introducing new OP units, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and I think there's 7 of them, and they're called the 7 Deadly Sins in Korea. I don't know what they're called here. I don't know if it's more now, but because of that, the game kind of exploded. Just back to my point. I think there needs to be 2 Galleons. I just you know, spurged because I feel like the arguments given out by OG players and the current player base that loves the game feels like the game is going to die soon, and I now kind of agree. I said in the interview during with Childish that I think the game is in a good state, but apparently I was wrong. Hearing all these arguments, well, yeah, all these arguments or explanation or descriptions on why the game is dying, I kind of agree. So I hope the developers do something about it. I think that they need to overall balance the game, balance the units more, and if they're bringing out like new units that could do so much, they need to bring up the usability of the existing Nat 5 families, or even Nat 4 families, or even Nat 3 families, because the people want usable Nat 3s and Nat 4s. More of that, right? More accessible. So anyways, yeah, so you need 2 Galleons in my opinion, so create another Galleon, please skill it up, because you do want at least 3 skill ups here with the new Galleon as well, because that's how you get 100% chance of landing the defense break. You have Carnal and you have Bale, so seeing that already, you do have the full second turn team Leo team that I could go with, so I could definitely build you a nice team there. You even have the Linda, but I did notice Linda's not skilled up, so I don't want to go with that, and Bale, at least the damage skill ups are there. So I think that's one. For a fast team, you do have the Leah, but you don't have a great assisting team. I did theory craft one, but we'll see how that works if he does request that help. Here, most of the stuff are not 6-starred. I don't know why you built 3 house. In your level, I don't think you should be building multiple 2As. You're in a C3G1 siege. There's no reason for you to do this to get your 10 wins. I would have used this to 2A other things, such as your Escher. Escher is a big plus with your Leah. Maybe you didn't pull the Escher, that's why, but I think that would be definitely a better choice. And then I would have just farmed more runes, because right now runes is probably what you're lacking the most. A lot of 6-star units or nav 5s that you didn't build, so I will start building these because these could be an addition to your variety of arena defenses or siege defenses or even arena offense if you do find a combination. Okay, now let's take a look at his runes. So we look at Swift 20. So just seeing this right now, I know you are doing BJR 5, or you do have a team at least. This tells me that you need to do more of it, because this rune is your fastest rune on slot 1. And sadly, it's not fastest right now because you don't have the grinds. And then it drops down to 19. Let's look at slot 3, 22, and then 18. So another fast rune that's equal to your fastest rune. So definitely you need the grinds there. 20 for slot 4, and then 14. That's a really weak slot. 18. So again, 22 speed, the fastest, but you just need the grinds. And then 20 slot 6, or actually 23. So this again strengthens my logic where you need to farm grinds to get your fastest rune, because right now this is 20 and this is 23. Overall, your Swift runes are really weak. It is a 400-day account, but I do think there are a lot of people that have better rune quality in the Swift set with 400 days in. Let's go to Violent, and I know his Violent rune quality is much better, so it looks like he's a DB12, MB12 farmer. Slot 121 again kind of shows me that you're not grinding, and you should. 17, so slot 1 is not that strong other than that 25 rune if he grinds it. Slot 3, 18, never mind. Okay, I thought his Violent runes was pretty strong, but this is a really weak slot as well. Slot 4, 25, okay, that's a good rune. That's a good rune, but again, lacking grinds. Or this might have been the event rune actually. And then 24, wow, this is 28. Grinds, perfecting runes. I will start working on that. And then slot 5, another 26. So you do see fast runes here and there. It's 24, another one right there, another 24. Wow, a lot of 24s. Again, grinds. You want to do your BGR 5. And then 25. Okay. There are a good number of runes here that are fast. Real runes. 26, 23, nice. 17, that's a weak slot 3. 21. Ooh, that's a whoa. What is this? What is this garbage? So you have like a petty slot 5 and then slot 6, a 15. The weakest to strongest is Swift Will Violent for sure. And to be honest, that doesn't mean that you should stop farming any of these. You need to farm all of them, but it's just that the Swift runes are so weak. I think you should focus on Swift runes a little more. Your arena defense, I don't like, because your Swift runes are so slow. I don't think this is not fast. Yeah. I would go with tanky defense. I'll go with tanky defense with your Cardinal lead. You should be happy that you have a Cardinal, so that you could run this type of defense. I would usually put a healer here, but you don't have a Abelio. I know a lot of people like to put this here. It's not my favorite choice, but you could do that, and you'll put in the Triana. And then finally you'll put in a Darien, but it has to be 2-8. So yeah, I would have 2-8 the Darien rather than 2-8 the other two Lulus, because I think that was a big mistake. Right now, because you can't run this, you have to put something else. You could put in the Leo. The thing is, you'll have to make this on 100 res really tanky, and then everybody else you will not be using anywhere else, because they will all be super slow but super duper tanky. You could even put in the Riley if you want to, but those are the changes I'll make. And during rush, maybe you could change one of these two with the Antares to put some RNG aspect into it, so people could fail cleaving this. For offense, I know that I'm gonna make this for sure. So this one is one you should make, and the other one that I theory craft is this one, because you don't have the Gemini, nor do you have Escher, nor do you have Chiu. We needed a speed lead, which he does have a 33 speed lead, which is a Vanessa, the only 33 speed lead, and then he has the Aquila, which works as the stripper plus the attack buff, and then his Savannah will put in the defense break. I know not as reliable, so this will be a high accuracy Savannah. Okay, we're not gonna focus on too much damage. It'll be a high accuracy Savannah, and then this gives the speed buff as well, where now the Leah will clean up. The speed tuning of this will be horrendous. It'll be extremely hard. But those are the two arena offenses that I'll go with. RTA. The units you picked out are fine. But I would add, you know, like the Barbara here because it's skilled up. Barbara is a good counter against certain units. Oh, actually, it's not fully skilled up, so maybe not the Barbara, but the Tessarion, although it's not fully skilled up, even I use it and it still saves the day many times. Antares, definitely. Triana might be a good choice because I think you should be playing second turn. I'll add those. I'll add this to the box. And there's a reason why I didn't pick up like this guy here, the Minato. He's not skilled up, so I don't want to use him. Could bring out some other units here and there, but I think this will be your core team. This will be a core team. You don't even have enough runes to ruin, I think, a total of 10 really nice units. So even this box right now is pretty damn big. One downside of this team is you have no AoE stripper. Right? There's no AoE stripper. Oh, there's one. But you do really want two. So if you really want to run 2 AoE strippers, I guess you will have to run the Juno. Yeah, because it looks like you were playing with it before. I think Juno would be the best choice. And there's nothing better here. Good thing you have the Riley, you have the Cardinal. So you have the 2 good first picks. Not the best in the current meta, because right now it's all Oliver, Masha, Shizuka, and the Dominique. So I don't know how well you'll deal with those teams, but I think it will be enough for you at least to get C1. Don't use units that's not skilled up. Oh, there's the Vigor. I totally forgot. Vigor is also very good. Ooh, you should definitely scale this up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything else that you guys like to see in Summoners War, please put a comment below. Do you guys agree with my thoughts on Summoners War? What do you guys think on the state of the game? Do you guys like it? Do you guys think it needs to balance more lower nat 2 and 3s and 4s rather than bringing out new OP nat 5s? Overall, I think history proves itself. I think the other games proved that the way Summoners War is going right now is showing a sign of death. The game death. I hope they work on fixing that. I hope they work on controlling that or correcting that. Whatever you want to say it. But that was it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.